Good morning, traders. It is Fed Day. So, things I'm seeing this morning. I'm going to start with the pre-market action. It's hitting my board here on the pre-market volume indicator. So we'll see what happens here. So, NVIDIA topping my list here. Basically, this morning, guys, what I am seeing weakness in semis. Uh, I'm seeing weakness in XLP, that's consumer staples, weakness in utilities, weakness in Boeing, weakness in Apple. And those are the areas that seem to have weakness in the markets today. Uh, then, so that being said, Nvidia is the first thing that we got happening right here. So we are in the bearish side of weekly trend here on Nvidia. So be very mindful of that. I think Nvidia is coming lower early on this morning. So let's definitely keep that in the back of our minds here. I'm looking for the 113.50 area or something like that, possibly. That would be your first tier of support. That's 40% retracement using your fibs. So heads up on that. That's the top thing getting price action early on this morning. Like I said, semis seem to be under pressure. Okay, Intel. Intel had all that news from the government and stuff, so we are potentially crossing on the bearish side of this week's trend. So let's keep an eye on that. Maybe this is the back test point. That could very well be. Um, but to me, this is uh, it's warning me that the price, even though they're getting these contracts, that the price is very weak here on Intel. So I'm getting a warning on that. Very weak price action. Palantir this morning, so we know it's recently getting, or it has, or recently added to the S&Ps. So what's that right there? That's earnings. Okay. So it's been on a tear. It is trying to push below the current weekly trend this morning, giving us a warning sign that the bulls might be exhausted on this trade. So definitely on this, keep an eye on this. Palantir possibly a reversal trade alerting this morning. I don't know about TLT. I didn't draw TLT out. Sorry about that. We're right into trend support here. Weekly trend support on TLT. That's our bond market. Get that drawn out real quick. I thought I had them all drawn out. Sorry. There you go. So basically, we just broke uh, the uptrend in TLT this morning. So that should be more bearish on the markets. The fact that we potentially are breaking this going into the Fed meeting today. So short term wise, this is a very short term indication. Okay, so just be very mindful of that in today's trading. Get this done real quick. Sorry about that. FXI is alerting again. What's going on there? Wow, China is having a nice few days here. Cool. So we do have additional buy side activity here in the uh, Chinese markets. So be mindful of that. Tesla's on watch here, guys. So consolidating sideways. Currently trading right below this week's trend. We are in the downtrend on momentum, believe it or not, here on Tesla. So be very mindful here. Potential downtrend. This kind of looks like a bull trap. So, let's see what happens, how it plays out here. We did not hold the 132 overnight, or the 232. We are looking to hold that 232 for a continuation breakout. So it's still, to me, looking like a bull trap. So we'll see what happens on that one. Those Google Marathon, below that. A little bit bearishness here on Marathon, right into a resistance wall. If I zoom in here, put a weekly trend line on that, might be going to the bearish side of this week's trend. Right there. Yeah, we're on the bearish side of this week's trend. So, trades on Marathon should be to the bearish side. Okay, micro systems. Okay, bearish side of this week's trend. And we're actually breaking last week's trend too. Heads up on that. 2-week break here. Microstrat. There you go. So we're breaking 2-week trend. This is really looking bearish here. So heads up on that one, guys. Now there's a green on that one. Microstratus. Okay, there we go. That's what's happening in the volumes pre-market here, guys. So now we'll start with SPY. SPY primary trend is still up. Short-term trend, I mean, is still up in intact. Qs, we're still, the trend is we're in a current weekly downtrend on the Qs, and we're still hovering right around that midline on the Qs. So be very mindful of that. Showing a lot of weakness in the semi. That's giving semis and Apple both are giving us weakness, driving down the momentum here in the Qs. IWM, very bullish. So we got rotation out of tech and going into the Russell. So heads up on that. Came right into the call wall yesterday, call wall area, and it rejected. We're right back into that call wall area again today here on IWM. Very strong pattern. Still a very strong pattern on the diamonds. SMH is a bearish. We are in a bearish side of the pattern. Heads up on that. So the semiconductors showing weakness here. Apple, technically a bear flag until so yesterday we had this trend line. We crossed it, but we didn't get any momentum to the upside. So that's confirming the bear flag technically. So we have a technical confirmation, a bear flag on Apple. I would only consider that to the downside, until proven otherwise. Microsoft has been a driving force for the markets. It's still holding in there. Trend is still very much intact. AMD, another semiconductor, bearish side of trend. This 150 area is very critical. Okay, not really one I would, because you got so many calls and puts right at 150. Not really one I want to trade. NVIDIA is very weak this morning in a weekly downtrend, testing critical support. It seems to be not quite as bad as Microsys, but it's really weak here. I think it's going to be coming down lower on NVIDIA. Tesla, like I said, Tesla looks like it's a bull trap. Meta, very strong pattern. So be very mindful. Into these prior highs has acted as resistance in the past. So be mindful of that. But it is a very strong pattern, even on the weekly here. So definitely keep an eye. Ideally, I would think, coming back up into this area, it'll need some time to build out before the actual breakout. So be very mindful of that. Not really something that I want to short. Google is actually looking like one of the better patterns. They won some sort of case in the EU this morning. We have an inverted head and shoulders. So this one here looks very constructive at the bottom of the trading range with a potential breaking out the inverted head and shoulders. So yeah, so Google looks very constructive to the upside. Amazon, we have a current weekly downtrend on Amazon. So, you're bucking the trend if you're trying to take it to the long side. But this one here is looking constructive early on this morning. Okay, XLF, very constructive. It's still holding in very good here on the bullish side. XLI, very constructive. These are risk on sectors. Looking good, very good, looking good. XLB, looking very good. Right here into these range highs. XLV, this is a defensive area. It broke yesterday. XLV was a leading one that broke yesterday. Broke a very critical level. And, now we're coming down into monthly support already. So heads up on that. XLV, XLU, potentially breaking the momentum here on XLU. I like this as a short. Heads up on that XLU potential short today in your utility sector. Okay. IYT, we do have FedEx reporting tomorrow. Okay. Still a very bullish pattern. This is your risk on area in the market. XLY. So we are into a topping area on XLY, but the trend is still bullish. Be very mindful of that. XLP broke trend. We broke this trend right here into the 2-week trend as we speak. Monthly trend is down here, so it's still above the monthly trend. So, but yeah, we have lost momentum to the safety names. XRT, very bullish in the retail sector. XLE, still a very bullish pattern. Okay. XLK, very weak. So tech is looking weak. Netflix, despite tech looking weak, Netflix is right back up into these all-time highs, getting over 700. It fell before. Now we're back into it. So this is once again could be a cup and handle scenario, possibly maybe just a clean breakout. Just heads up on that. The trend does look bullish here. You really don't want it until we break that line. You don't want to be looking for a any type of downside trade. You know, the trend does look to be up here for Netflix. And then finally, Boeing, it is just a dog. It's for the markets. It's a bearish chart. I'm not even thinking about it until we get down to the 150 area. You know, 150 minimum before even thinking about trying to buy the dip on that one, in my opinion. Okay, that's a quick rundown what I'm looking at here. Different sides of the market. Just trying to stay on the right side of trend in the market. But as I said, I identified some very critical things that are happening in the price action. Thanks a lot for listening. Please retweet me on Twitter if you do get a chance, and like the video. Please like the video. Leave comments below. I appreciate the feedback. And thanks a lot, guys.